Hey guys, today I'm bringing you my top 10 list of my favorite episodes in Reign Season 2. Now, as you can see that I didn't do my live stream, I decided not to, especially because I've already been talking about Season 2 with a lot of other people already, and I just really didn't feel like doing a live stream. Plus, the last time I did a live stream, I saw how bad it lagged, and and until I get a proper camera, I don't think I'm going to do another live stream, which I'm going to start saving for this summer, so hopefully by the end of the summer I will have a camera. So yeah. But I will do a Reign related video every couple weeks, maybe sometimes every week. I mean, if I want to talk about my thought, I'm going to do something Reign related every month, a few videos of those a month. It'll keep me sane. It'll just keep me happy because season 3 doesn't come back on until October, and May, it's almost June, so we still have like at least 4 months of waiting. Ugh. So yeah, I thought I'd bring you my top 10 favorite episodes of Reign, and also my 3 least favorite episodes. So I will start with my least favorite episodes. Honestly, there were only 3 episodes this season that I didn't like. There are a lot more episodes that I loved/liked in this season, and I have some honorable mentions, but yeah, these are just the episodes I didn't like. My number 3 would be episode 18, titled Reversal of Fortune. It's the episode where Francis is sick. It was a disappointing episode after like a 4-week hiatus. Another one of those, I was expecting a great episode and I didn't get what I wanted. Plus, Mary ended up breaking up things with Conde, and I just was like, I didn't like it, and I didn't like how Mary's not a good ruler. Mary's not a good ruler, and and then the whole, like, threatening Narcisse thing, I just didn't like that. It was not that good of an episode. My second least favorite episode would be episode 6, titled 3 Queens. Now, I know this was supposed to be the funner episode, which, hey, I'm all for fun episodes, especially because in this show, they're so serious all the time. Like, all the time. And I like having a fun episode every once in a while, but this episode turned out to be a disappointment for me. The only scenes I say that are actually worthwhile in this episode overall were the scenes between Narcisse and Lola. I loved that. They're my favorite couple on the show now because Mondi, I don't think will ever be a thing again, and unfortunately I have to accept that. Though, hey, who knows, the writers could throw a curveball at us next season, but honestly, while Francis is still alive, I don't see Mary going away from him, whatever, it is what it is. So yeah, and my least favorite episode of season 2 is episode 12, titled Banished. This is the episode I just hated. I mean, Greer was banished, that whole fight scene between Conde and Francis, just everything. I just didn't like this episode. I just didn't like this episode. I don't like talking about it. I mean, I watched it a second time, and I liked it a little bit more than I did, but still, I don't like it. Not a good episode, in my opinion. But yeah, now let's get to the good, which there's way more good than there is bad. So of course, I have some honorable mentions. Episode 20, titled Fugitive. This episode, Conde's the fugitive, and all that. And honestly, this episode, because the past few episodes I had been just like, it's not very good. Like, from like episode 11 to episode 19, it was just like hit or miss with the episode. Most of the episodes were boring, though there were a couple exceptions in between episodes 11 and 19, which I will talk about in my top 10. But yeah, this made me look forward to the next episode. I just really enjoyed it. And the end scene where Conde is proclaimed King of France, it was a good scene. I mean, it has nothing on the King in the North scene at the end of season 1 of Game of Thrones, but still, it was a good scene, a good episode. I really enjoyed it, and yeah. My next honorable mention is episode 9 entitled Acts of War. Yeah, this is the infamous episode where Mary got raped, and I'm not talking about rape because, of course, I don't like seeing rape scenes, but I was never mad at the writers for doing it, but other than that, I really enjoyed this episode. Even though I knew Conde and Claude would never be a couple, I have to say their back and forth was pretty funny. So yeah. And then my next honorable mention is episode 17 entitled Tempting Fate. Let's just say this is the episode where Conde and Mary finally consummate their relationship. It was a sexy scene, about as sexy as CW can get, in my opinion, with like their sex scenes. It was a good episode. Plus that scene between Lola and Mary was like, I started loving Lola again. I was like, yay, Lola! And then the next episode, my next honorable mention will be episode 2, entitled Drawn and Quartered. It was just a good episode. It was even better than the first episode of this season. And it was the last episode we saw in Nostradamus for a while, for a long time. And it was just a good episode, and we got more of Conde. Conde and Mary met, even though it wouldn't be, the next episode wouldn't be until they had like a legit conversation. But yeah, I loved it. And then, of course, my last honorable mention is episode 16, entitled Tasting Revenge. Mary and Conde, they finally start kissing. Francis is like, no, this is an episode I respected Francis more. He was like, Mary, you can go to Conde now. I was like, good job, Francis. Good job. So yeah, now my top 10 favorite episodes of season 2. I mean, and also the episodes that I did not mention, I enjoyed them, but I didn't think they were amazing. But these are my top 10 of the best episodes, in my opinion, for season 2, and I bet a lot of people will probably agree. Number 10 will be the season 2 finale, Burn. Now, I really enjoyed this episode. I mean, the only things I didn't like in it were the Mondi and the Frary scenes. I thought all those scenes were pure garbage. I just hated them. And that last Mondi scene was bullshit, and we all know it, because Francis barged in because, you know, the whole thing about he thought Conde was behind the murder of his son, which it turned out John was alive the whole time. So yeah, that last Mondi scene was bullshit, and we all know it, and it can't be the last Mondi scene, and I will talk about more of my thoughts from what I went from season 3 in my next Rain-related video, but yeah. But everything else in the episode was great. Like, the Bash and Delphine stuff was crazy, and I have to say, I think I'm gonna love Bash again as a character, because season 2, he was basically irrelevant, and that really made me sad, because I love him so much in season 1. But I think Bash is gonna turn out to be one of my favorite characters again. So, good. And the Kenna drama was amazing. The Lola and their C stuff was amazing. It's like, oh my gosh, and I have hope for the couple again. We get to see Elizabeth. It was a great episode. It's only the Mondi and the Frary scenes I thought were complete garbage, but other than that, it was excellent. Number 9 would be Terror of the Faithful. This episode, I mean, there were other things involved, but it was really all the Protestant versus Catholic stuff I loved, and it was a great episode. It's really because of all that stuff I loved. So, yeah. Number 8 would be episode 5, entitled Blood for Blood. This episode I freaking raved about when I first reviewed it, and I still love the episode, even though the sex journal stuff is stupid. Everything else is great. The Castleroy and Greer getting married, this is the episode the stuff really started, like the Protestant versus Catholic stuff, really was things were heating up a lot. I just loved it. I mean, I recently watched the episode. It's so good, and it was great. And it was the episode after Mary lost the baby, you know. And then and then the reveal of Narcisse, what Narcisse did, I was like, yeah, I was so excited about that. I was like, yeah, Narcisse was awesome. It was a great episode. It was only the sex journal stuff that was stupid, but other than that, freaking amazing. Number 7 is episode 10, titled Mercy. This is the episode after the episode after Mary got raped. It was just a great episode. The ending with Mary finally parting ways with, for a while at least, saying that she and Francis should live separate lives. That was like awesome. The Conde and Mary going after Mary's rapers was pretty awesome. Was interesting, and I'm like, good, Mary doesn't have to think about those men who did it anymore, even though it'll always be a part of her. At least she knows that the people who did it to her are dead. And of course, the ending with Mary finding out in that letter that Conde is in love with her, it was like, that was the icing on the cake. It was a great mid-season finale. Yeah, it was a great freaking episode, guys. Number 6 would be episode 21, titled The Siege. This is the episode at the end of it that made my excitement for Reign come back. It made me so excited for the season finale. It made me so excited even more for what was to come in season 3. It just brought my excitement back. And the ending, which even the ending with the bomb that Mary dropped about her being pregnant was awesome. Even though we learned that, like, pretty quickly in the season finale that Mary wasn't pregnant, it was still like, it was just the thought of it that made me happy. I was still like excited by it, and know what? Even though the writers did that, all those Frary scenes and Mondi scenes in the season finale sucked, it didn't take away my excitement for the show, and it didn't make me not excited for what's to come next in season 3 and all that. So it brought my excitement back. It was a great episode. I just loved it. Ugh, really freaking good episode, guys. And though actually I just was thinking more about that episode, The Siege, and I will talk more about it in my video for what I want from season 3, which will come up sometime in the next week. So yeah. Number 5 would be episode 14, titled End of Mourning. This episode, I feel like Catherine's finally back to normal before she started becoming a horrible person, like a bitch. I loved it, and the ending when Mary, like, finally tells Louis how she feels, it was great. And then Your Soul by Rhodes played. That was like, that's the Mondi theme song from here on out. I still listen to that song almost every day. It makes me so sad, but like, oh, I love it. I love it. It was a great episode. It was like, okay, finally the episodes of Reign are starting to get good again, because episodes 11, 12, and 13 were like, not that great. Not, especially episode 12. And episode 14, it was like, okay, it's starting to get better again. And then my number 4 would be episode 15, titled Forbidden. Just a great episode. We get Marie de Guise again. We get that funny Lola scene. And it's evident, and, you know, it was a great episode. And we get to see Keta in a ball gown. It was she looked beautiful. We get to see more Antoine, who I love. And then, of course, the ending where, like, Mary wants Conde to come to Scotland with her as her lover was awesome, even though we know now it's definitely not going to happen. But still, like, it was awesome. I loved it. It was a really good episode. I was like, it's back. But then they were like, oh yeah, you're going to have to wait a month for the next episode. That pissed me off. I really hope there aren't this many breaks in season 3. I really hope not, but there probably will be, unfortunately. Now, these top 3, these are the heavy hitters. I love all 3 of these episodes so much. Number 3 would be episode 3, entitled Coronation. I just loved this episode. It's Mary and Francis are crowned king and queen. It's a great scene. Probably one of the best scenes in the entire season. Conde and Mary have their first, like, conversation. This is the first episode where Conde does something for Mary. I freaking loved it. It was such a good episode. I love it, and the song Hills to Climb that played during the coronation was perfect. I love it so much. Number 2 is episode 4, titled The Lamb and the Slaughter. This was a great episode. Mary was pregnant throughout the episode. even though she lost the baby, it was still great. Lola and Mary finally clashed about the whole Lola having Princess's baby thing, and it finally came to a head, and then it settled, and then it was solved. And by the end of the episode, it was like, thank you for getting this over with quickly, because I did not want the whole season to them to have animosity towards each other. I just was like, I didn't want to deal with that. And it was a great episode. Also, it was great that Mary was pregnant in this episode. Even though she lost the baby, it's like, finally, there's not going to be any more scenes throughout the rest of the season of Mary being like, oh, what if I can't have a baby? I'm just like, because that always irritated me about season 1. When Mary didn't get pregnant immediately, it was like, oh my gosh, what if I can't have a baby? I'm just like, I didn't like that. But yeah, this episode finally proved Mary's fertile. I mean, I always knew Mary was fertile, but the people who don't know anything about history were like, probably like, oh no, they're not gonna have a baby. Well, Mary and Frances aren't gonna have a baby anyway, but still, Mary does have a kid, a little later on in life. But yeah. So yeah, that's just a great episode. I love this episode. Also, probably one of my favorite dresses Mary has ever worn in both seasons she wore in this show. Actually, 2 of them. The gorgeous red gown she wore with that big sweeping skirt and that neckline. Gorgeous. And then the episode where she lost the baby, like that pink dress. Oh my goodness. I loved her gowns in that episode. Those 2 in particular. Gorgeous. And now the moment you all been waiting for, my favorite episode of season 2 is episode 7, titled The Prince of the Blood. This is a great episode. We were introduced to Claude, which I have to say at first I didn't care about Claude as a character, but now I think because she really hasn't added anything to the show. She really doesn't have anything to do. But now I think that season 3, we're going to see her actually do something, which I'm happy about, and I might actually start liking her. And this episode was so great, and we got to see Conde shirtless, and this is the episode where Conde gave Mary that, looked at Mary while she was watching the fireworks, so I'm like, oh no, a love triangle is going to start. But I was actually, because before that, I was like, I just want Mary and Conde to be friends, you know? But then I saw that, I'm like, dang it, I couldn't help but ship them, and it was a great episode, and that ending fight between Mary and Frances was like the icing on the cake. So yeah, that was my favorite episode. Even though there was obviously some great episodes, like the other 9 I just listed, nothing ever topped The Prince of the Blood for me, which I think I'm going to watch right now. I'm just going to skip episode 6 because I really don't feel like watching it, and I'm going to watch The Prince of the Blood, which is just the best episode of season 2 for me. So yeah, tell me your favorite episodes of this season. Tell me your least favorite episodes of the season. I would love to know. And yeah, I will be seeing Tomorrowland tomorrow, and I might watch the movie Slow West, which is on VOD, like either tonight or tomorrow. And then, of course, Game of Thrones I will be reviewing, and just, yeah, so really, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.